Over the past decade, basketball has become a much smaller world as players from many different countries have made it to the NBA. One of the first, and one of the best, was Croatia's Drazen Petrovic. He achieved stardom in Europe and then in the NBA, while helping to establish basketball as a global game. This week, it's the late Drazen Petrovic on Vintage NBA.
2 seconds, 1 second. West throws it up. He makes it.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in.
Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Yes, basketball has changed. It's always been a great game, but now it has a new spirit.
He dunks like Dr. J.
He might be the new Iceman.
The modern day Wilt Chamberlain.
He looked like Magic Johnson.
The future has arrived.
You are watching what greatness is all about.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Vintage NBA. I'm Robin Roberts. This week, a story of triumph and tragedy. The story of Drazen Petrovic. He was a hero in Europe and an NBA rising star until his life was cut short in a car accident. Drazen played for the Nets and Trailblazers, which is fitting because he did blaze a trail for the NBA's international players. One of his teammates on the Yugoslavia national team was Vlade Divac, but they were later divided by the country's civil war. Vlade is now with the Sacramento Kings, and this week he's in the chair, reflecting on the life and career of Drazen Petrovic.
Petro, he's a player.
Dražen was great.
This guy is a fabulous jumper.
He was born to be a basketball player. He loved basketball so much he would know stats right here in his head, everything, you know, how many points everybody scored, how many rebounds. He knew exactly what's happening on the floor. He was amazing. I like his move with a crossover. He comes back behind and take a shot.
I shoot too when you can step back and take 3.
All my generation, including Dino Radja and Toni Kukoc, we all look up to Dražen. Definitely, he was a hero. I remember one year he was averaging, if I'm not mistaken, he was averaging 40 points in European Championship leagues. It's amazing. I don't think nobody can do it again.
He's not shy. He'll shoot it anytime he can touch it.
Petrovic, three-pointer.
He was a great guy to play with. Anytime when you struggle on offense, just give it to him. He'll score. He'll find a way. And it was simple for him. He was the best European player ever played basketball there.
There's no doubt in my mind he definitely could play in the NBA.
We came same year from Europe, and we were like first 2 Europeans finally to come in, in NBA and make it. I remember the first year we talk on the phone almost every day, supporting each other, talking about what we did in practice, what we did in the game.
Vlade says one thing is for certain. Drazen was the greatest player ever to come out of Europe. And we'll look back at Petro's career when we return in just a moment.
He missed a shot, and you look at the picture and say, I can't believe it. And you never saw him miss it.
What a shot by Petrovic. Oh, he's like radar.
Petro, that's for 3. Got it!
Petrovic spotting up. A three-pointer for the NBA's leading three-point shooter.
Even as good a shooter as he was, he practiced for endless hours.
Drazen Petrovic. You gotta love this guy.
He would have been a phenomenal player in the league for years and years.
Drazen Petrovic was still a teenager when he began playing professionally in Croatia. And there was one early sign that he was headed for greatness. He scored, now get this, 112 points. 112 points in one game. Drazen never came close to that again, but he did become a star on 2 continents and a source of great pride among people in his homeland. And his talent was recognized throughout the basketball world.
He was pre-Michael Jordan in Europe. He was the best player over there.
He's the best on off-screen shooter that I ever played with, and probably the best that ever played in the NBA.
He wanted to become the first great European player, and he was on his way.
Por el Real Madrid en el puesto de base, at guard, número 5, 1,97 m. Number 5, 6'6", Drazen Petrovic.
A decade ago, Vlade Divac, Toni Kukoc, and Dino Radja all were stars on Yugoslavia's national team. But it was their teammate Dražen Petrović who would set the standard for European players. He led his country to a silver medal at the 1988 Olympics, displaying the brilliance that was first noticed at a young age.
People were talking about Drazen when he was 17 years old. Drazen was a scorer. He was a compulsive scorer.
After conquering Europe at the professional and Olympic levels, Drazen looked to new horizons. In 1986, he was a third-round pick of the Portland Trail Blazers. And after a few more years in Europe, Petro arrived in Portland in 1989. While he showed signs of his talent, his playing time was limited. And in the middle of the 91 season, he was traded to the Nets.
I thought him coming to play for us in New Jersey would be a tremendous thing, because we have a large Croatian community here in the New York area, and we needed a great shooter, and he was that.
It was in New Jersey where Drazen proved he belonged, and as his minutes increased, so did his production. And the rest of the league was starting to take notice.
Petro for three, got it!
Oh, this is as good as being home, he's saying.
But things weren't nearly as good back home in Yugoslavia. A civil war had broken out between Drazen's native Croatia and the Republic of Serbia. The conflict had Petrović and his former teammates taking opposite sides, and it broke apart their friendships.
There was a war. War happened, and we split. And there was a couple of guys on one side, a couple of guys on the other side.
As Drazen tried to focus on his NBA career, the war in Yugoslavia was weighing heavily on his mind.
There are a few games when we look back that his performance has been down due to the fact that he received a phone call or two, and it has to be very depressing to know that your loved ones are over there, and it has affected him.
I can't believe people dying in the civil war, hundreds and hundreds of people. That's not very good, and I still can't believe that's happening in my country.
Despite the distractions of the events back home, Petro's dedication to basketball never wavered. He constantly honed his game, displaying a tireless work ethic.
He would stay after practice and shoot hundreds of just jump shots off screen, just 100, just constant, for a half hour, 45 minutes. He probably the most hardest working, dedicated basketball player that I've ever been around.
I thought he had a tremendous amount of drive. I mean, desire, determination to be better than he was, or be better than the American players were.
Teaming up with a young Kenny Anderson and Derek Coleman, Drazen helped lead the Nets to the '92 playoffs, and their future looked bright.
That team had a chance to be a real dangerous club in the playoffs. There were a lot of pieces with that club.
The Nets made the playoffs again in '93, as Petro led the team in scoring, averaging 22 a game. He was becoming one of the NBA's most reliable shooters.
I mean, if he missed a shot, I mean, you look at the people next to you and say, I can't believe that. And you never saw him miss.
What a shot by Petrovic! Oh, he's like Rado.
Petro, that's for three, got it!
Petrovic spotting up. A three-pointer for the NBA's leading three-point shooter.
Drazen's great shooting, combined with his intensity and enthusiasm, had quickly made him a big favorite among the New Jersey fans.
We love Drazen!
Drazen Petrovic. You gotta love this guy.
Pumping the fist, getting you motivated to play, and no matter what we were down, he come to the sidelines like, hey, we can win, DC, kick it to me for three. All the time. He just had that motivation in him, like he always thought, no matter what the odds were, we was always going to win.
But tragically, it all came to an end on June 7th, 1993. Drazen Petrovic was killed in an automobile accident outside Munich, Germany. He was only 28 years old.
It's such an unfortunate accident. it's hard to do.
Even after coming to the U.S., Drazen maintained his ties to the Croatian community. He was active in a Croatian American church in Manhattan, and after his death, parishioners remembered him in a memorial service. The Nets also began a scholarship fund for Croatian students in Drazen's honor. Willis Reed said, "We'll get another player, but we'll never replace Drazen Petrovic." Petro not only helped the Nets, he helped make basketball a global game. More about that when we return. These days, the NBA has a distinct international flavor with a growing wave of players from overseas. As we log on to NBA.com, we find that opening night rosters featured a record 46 foreign-born players from 28 countries. But it's not only basketball players who have come to the United States and found success. Greta Garbo began her acting career in her native Sweden, then traveled to America in 1925 and became one of Hollywood's most glamorous movie stars, not to mention the most mysterious. She retired at age 36 and went into seclusion saying, "I want to be alone." Really, go away, I want to be alone. From Germany came another actress known for her beauty and mystique, Marlene Dietrich. She became famous in 1930 and her role in the German film, The Blue Angel. Dietrich then arrived in Hollywood and was a huge hit at the box office. Billy Wilder, born in Austria, became one of America's greatest filmmakers. He directed many classic movies ranging from the dramatic like Double Indemnity and Sunset Boulevard to comedies such as The Apartment and Some Like It Hot. Now, we know the Beatles and Rolling Stones were part of the British invasion, but how could you forget the Bay City Rollers? Yeah, they weren't from Bay City, Michigan. They're from Scotland and took the U.S. by storm in the 70s, sparking roller mania among teenage girls. No, Henry Kissinger was never a teen idol, but the native of Germany did become the chief architect of American foreign policy. He was Secretary of State under two presidents, Nixon and Ford, and a world-renowned diplomat who won the 1973 Nobel Peace Prize. As for basketball, international players like Hakeem Olajuwon, Vlade Divac, and Toni Kukoc have all made their mark in the NBA. But the sport's global popularity really began taking off in the 1980s, when players like Drazen Petrovic were making new fans all across Europe. And it was in Barcelona during the '92 Olympics where round ball expanded its horizons even further.
The Dream Team made basketball the game that it is around the world.
You get the feeling you're attending an exhibition, a concert.
It's such a different game now because of the national and international scope.
Es el mejor canal de Chile.
Es el mejor canal de Chile.
Hello Chile. Ciao, Jackie, gracias.
You're in Europe and people recognize you. You're in China, they recognize you. Everywhere, NBA basketball, and they know all the players.
Now at events like the NBA Finals and the All-Star Weekend, broadcasters from all over the globe are on hand to describe the action in their native tongue.
¿Qué tal, amigos de Televisión Azteca? Bienvenidos al espectacular mundo del básquetbol.
¿Cómo se eleva? Bueno.
All right. We're not exactly sure of that translation on that last one. We believe it means something like wow. In any event, this season NBA games are being broadcast to 206 countries in 42 different languages. Also, the NBA features its first ever players from Argentina, Finland, and Mali. The first Croatian was Drazen Petrovic, and we'll look back at one of his greatest games when we return. After a slow start in Portland, Drazen Petrovic hit his stride in New Jersey, where he helped turn the Nets into a playoff team. Petro was on his way to becoming one of the league's top shooting guards, and one game demonstrated just how good he had become. From the Airwave Archive, it's January 24th, 1993 at the Meadowlands. The Houston Rockets are in town, riding an 8-game winning streak as we join Spencer Ross and Bill Raftery.
Sand gives it to Petro. Nice ball fake. Look at this.
And Klaus puts it home.
And the Globies generally stop here at the Meadowlands.
52-38.
Showing us a little of that.
Thorpe. And Otis Thorpe puts it home. 6 points for Thorpe, and the net lead is down to 12.
You don't want to let Houston start scoring easily. A concern the Nets might have. They've been doing a great job understanding each set. Oh, shoot it.
And he shot it. Would have been 2. Instead, Thorpe picks up the foul. First team foul on the Rockets.
You think it's easy to guard a guy? You think he's shooting first, then you think he's throwing, then you think he stole your wallet. Then he nails it, and a smirk at the end. Well, he is active tonight, making haste.
Chucky Brown kept that alive, but it comes over to Ori, who gets it out over to Kenny Smith. 7:18 left third quarter. Smith on the drive to Hakeem.
Good feeling. You are dead if you're Sam Bowie because you're going to address the dribbler.
You're smart. You don't try and block.
Why even get involved, right?
Cheeks finds Petro. Chucky Brown. Steps. They got him with the step zone. Anderson, Petrovic, Dudley, Rick Mahorn, and Raphael Addison to start the fourth quarter for the Nets, who lead it by 10.
They're switching those screens.
Here's Dudley against Elijah Wan. Doesn't get the roll on the follow. Mahorn. Addison goes for it. Out of bounds. It'll be net basketball. Great hustle. Raphael Addison.
And Maxwell got away with a foul over there, too, as he ran down the basketball. Good shots. You can run things down. And Rudy T saying, why didn't you other refs help out on that particular ball?
Petro gets the pick from Dudley. Makes it look easy, doesn't it?
Oh, an exhibition.
21 for Drazen, and the Nets by a dozen, 69-57.
Individual ability with the bounce. Plays break down. Good players make good things happen.
Maxwell is open for 3. We've mentioned this team loves to fire them up. Maxwell's thrown up over 160 of them this year. That's the second of the night. He's at 50. Petro, who still leads the league in percentage three-point.
So he can get the shot off, and he knows it over the top of Garland. So he's trying to set up.
Before, Garland with the foul. Second team foul on the Rockets. Rockets with Garland, Maxwell, Elijah Wan, Herrera, and Brooks.
Good bailout here, Doug, seeing that Kenny Anderson wasn't free.
And we'll get the foul. Maxwell against Maxwell. That's the third team foul in the Rockets.
Banging away out there. I don't know why. Full-time set. Unnecessary. Maxwell with a pat to you, Hollins. Do you think he really meant it?
Sometimes it's good you do that to the ref. You say, okay, you got me, you're right. Yeah, I made the bad play. Garland.
Nice job by
Dudley. Jump ball. Mahorn and Dudley were over there.
Nice job by Rick stepping in, presenting himself on the dribble penetration. Reading things defensively. Ooh. And that's pretty darn good.
And off the tip, back live. It's controlled by the Nets. Under 10 minutes remaining in the ball game. The Nets lead at 69-60. Anderson trying to work on Brooks.
Nice shot by Drazen to free himself.
Puts it home. 23 for Petro.
Then he does get it to him.
Yes, he does.
And the timing is impeccable.
7th assist. Elijah Wan. Brooks. Rebound, Herrera.
Nice job by Dudley, forcing the issue.
Rebound, Dudley.
And he pushed Elijah Wan out, then he went down to the other side. Nice weak side check out.
Petro counted and one.
He's back. The Bada Bingo is back. Hesitation Russian waltz. You own him out on the clothesline. Up and away. And Rudy T getting just that.
T, no foul on Rudy Tomljanovic, and Petro will shoot it. Nets lead 73-60.
Nice spread for the Nets here, getting that extra one. You get it to 15 if he makes both. Competitive. That's what this team has become.
26 for Petro, 14 of them here in the second half. And now he will shoot the free throw to try and complete the three-point play.
The orange sense of humor. He's happy somebody else has a tee out here. Now we're in.
Ricky Mayhem. Been a real good addition to this basketball team. He knows what winning's about. Petro with his 27th point of the ball game, and the Nets have upped the lead again to 15. And they've led by as many as 17.
I'm sorry, Spence, as they call it timeout. I'm impressed with his work habits. Yeah, listen to Dave Pavao. He says he's one of the hardest working guys. They do this 25-minute running drill, and a lot of guys contribute, but maybe not as hard as Rick.
Raf was talking about Rick Mahorn's work habits, but let me tell you, no one outworked Drazen Petrovic. He'd stay long after practice, honing his jump shot. He had a rigorous exercise routine before every game. And on road trips, he'd go to the hotel health clubs to work out. Willis Reed, then the Nets GM, said Drazen left no stone unturned to make himself a better player. We'll return to Petro's game against Houston right after we take a trip to the movies. Chuck Daly got his first good look at Drazen Petrovic at the '92 Olympics. Chuck's dream team defeated Petro's Croatian squad in the gold medal game. But Daly was impressed by Drazen's intensity and his shooting, which gave Croatia a brief lead in the first half. They were reunited when Daly became head coach of the Nets. And he's watching Petro light it up against Houston as we pick up the action in the fourth quarter.
8:06 remains in this ball game. Don't go away, folks. This is a tough one, and we have a lot of time remaining. Nets with an 11-point lead against a team that has won 8 in a row. And they can turn it up very, very quickly.
Raphael on Maxwell. He's helping out. They got the illegal D on. Did they call it on Raf?
Yep, on Addison. Got to be very careful against this team. Here's Mo Cheek set to come back in. And he'll replace Raphael Addison. Good effort by Raf tonight. Half a dozen points off the bench. 5 rebounds.
The one thing Chuck's got going now, and something that he likes to have, either you come from the bench with good offense or you come with good defense. One of the two. And what he's got now with Cheeks coming in, a guy who can really guard. You see, the matchup is Cheeks on Maxwell. Maybe take away that dribbling and the penetrating and the havoc it creates.
Olajuwon just backed his way in against Dudley and put it home. He's got 17, and the net lead is down to 8 again. It was 75-60. The Rockets have scored 7 in a row to cut the deficit down to 8. That's need a hoop.
Nice job by Maxwell on that curl out.
Petro.
They get the hip out. Maxwell.
The Nets have lost the flow, though, Billy. The flow that they had, that fluidity we talked about earlier. Watch this here with Olajuwon going against Dudley.
Dud's been getting banged, and he recoils beautifully. Fortunately, doesn't give the foul, but he's feeling his head there, and live, he just put his arm down. He was feeling his neck again. There it is. Oh. The 6th vertebrae, huh?
Yeah.
8 up that high.
28 for Petro. C4, 5, whatever. $76-67. The Nets with a 9-point lead.
Learn a little bit of biology when I'm with you, huh?
I'll tell you something. In sports today, everybody knows a lot about medical terminology, anatomy, physiology. 77-67.
And Kenny down, and what a travel. Anticipation by Anderson causing the trouble, and Rudy T has one, doesn't want another Rudy T.
77-67, the Nets with a 10-point lead. There's the step call.
The guy they haven't touched much, they get it down to Durek.
Dudley doesn't get the roll. Coleman out of follow.
Softness.
He's got 21, and again the Nets by a dozen.
Chris, if you're positioned well, as Durek was, you can get that weak side. He kicked the ball out.
Offensive foul. They got it on Garland.
I think the big fella down below, Elijah,
okay.
But see, Durek gets right to the glass. It's soft enough to do some damage, and a nice, deft touch.
21 for Coleman. That's 8 games in a row. He scored at least 20 or more. Brooks trying to hound Maurice Cheeks. Turnovers have hurt the Rockets tonight. Anderson. Would sneak out by Brooks. Smith open for 3. He's hurt the Nets. On the rebound, Coleman looks up, finds Cheeks. 3 against 1. Anderson through the lane, puts it home.
Nice play by Dudley. Almost comes up with the steal. That's an excellent defensive play, and Mo Cheeks, interesting combo right now.
Yeah, and you know, the interesting thing, you might say, is it a coincidence it was an 8-point lead when Mo Cheeks came in? It's 14 now? I don't think so.
Well, look at the great defensive play. Mo giving it up, but Draž playing small forward has had some impact. You got good defensive play out front. Draž up front, they haven't really gone this guy. Nice play by Kenny.
Play by Anderson to take it away, and Brooks picks his spot. Elijah it's Thorpe, excuse me, won't go.
What is Brooks doing in there, huh?
To Thorpe. Boy, they're making it hard on him, aren't they? I know he got the hoop, but Warren easy. Thorpe with 12 points, and that lead is down to a dozen. 5:35 remaining in this ballgame.
Well, the Nets aren't going to miss there, Mr. Brooks. But he's been twice now down there digging. He got the steal from Kenny.
Petro, and he is fouled by Maxwell.
Maxwell late, forced a tough shot. Offensive-minded, can't relax.
So Petro back in the line to shoot 2.
How about Kenny without, off the dribble, and Draž. If he had that to do it over again, he would have pumped and spun baseline.
But he certainly knows how to draw the foul.
Well, he does. He's got a great offensive mind.
He's got 30 points in the ball game. 9 of them here in the fourth quarter. 18 total in the second half. A 13-point net lead.
Got to mentally stay in it defensively now. Time for a Houston run. Usually penetration or Olajuwon touching it.
Draws last 6 points from the free throw line. Sleepy Floyd set to come into the lineup. Eric, who began his NBA career as a Net, will see his first appearance tonight. He started 10 games this season, but he has kind of been drifting to the back of the Houston bench. Maxwell will sit down.
Back burner, huh?
Yeah.
But he can shoot the 3, and they get another T on Maxwell this time as they look at the bench.
But remember, next Friday night, this coming Friday night, we're going to be in Houston. And it should be Saturday night, going to be very interesting.
You take this one in the NBA if you can get it, and you worry about next week. That'll take care of itself. That's a mentality.
A frustrated Vernon Maxwell unable to do anything with Drazen Petrovic in this game. The point guard on that 93 Nets team was Kenny Anderson, then in just his second season in the NBA. As the floor leader, he had the chance to help Drazen get open shots. And in return, Petro helped Kenny boost his assist average.
We design plays for him to get open.
Draž should be able to get free with Daniels.
For 3, counted and 1!
He's letting it all show.
It was 4 or 5 assists a night for me, easy.
Drazen was one of the greatest shooters I've ever seen.
Puts it home, and the Nets have taken the lead.
Under pressure, any distance, he was on the threshold of being an all-star, really.
What a shot by Petrovic with the shot clock running down.
In the spring of '93, Chuck was watching Petro blossom into one of the NBA's best guards, and he was never better than against the Rockets. Drazen was on fire all night long, and he already had 34 points heading into the final 4 minutes. And that's where we pick it up, with the Nets leading Houston by 16.
Inbounds, it comes to Thorpe, returns to Ori. I don't think he even looked at the basket.
I think he was afraid of getting it blocked, and Drazen with the hand in there to break up this play. Now, Chuck didn't like the lineup when Horry came in the game right away up with CB, Chucky Brown. Better matchup for his club. He feels they got the illegal D.
And Petro will go back to the line to shoot the tee.
The skip,
did you see him? I did. He thought maybe somebody else was going. He did a little stutter step. Horry's cheek sits back down.
You know
Great
you're
job.
a good free throw shooting team when they're sprinting to the free throw line on technicals.
Didn't they call it?
No, I guess they called an offensive foul, or a defensive foul, excuse me.
Petro, 4-3, got it!
He'd rather that line anyhow.
He's got 37, a season high, and the Nets lead it by 19, 91-72. Elijah Wan.
And in through the net, yeah. Bud stuck his hand up. Not a bad try. Pretty athletic play by Hakeem. Imagine him in soccer. You'd never score a goal. The kiss, unfriendly.
Tell you, talk about Elijah Wan tonight. 20 points. Nets have really contained him, though. 7 of 18 from the floor. 11 rebounds.
Well, the little trap there, and Chuck will be unhappy the way they addressed it. Postman didn't present, and he could fill them just two in a hurry.
Sleepy with his first 2 of the ball game. 91-76. The Nets by 15 as we approach the 2.5-minute mark remaining in this ball game.
Better job now. Everybody deployed properly. Got an overload here for Drazen.
4-3. And the rebound pulled down by Floyd. 91-76. The Nets lead it by 15.
Don't want to give up points in a hurry.
Horry for 3. Thorpe, don't foul here. And they did. 2:12 remains, and Robert Horry will go to the line to shoot 2. But Drazen was looking for a 40-point night. Excuse me, Thorpe to the line to shoot 2.
And he may get it the way he's stroking it. Chuck not wanting to put them on the free throw line. That particular play, Dudley thinking he was going to get all basketball.
Raphael Addison set to come back in. Thorpe, as we mentioned, not a good free throw shooter. Chucky Brown lead. Offense-defense move to an extent?
Yeah, I would think so.
So they're trapping Addison's going to be open.
Well, I think matchup, too. You know, you got a lot of perimeter. The 2 perimeter shooters, Floyd and Brooks, are identified. And maybe Horry, after making that, Raph is the reason he went in. Defensively, the reason Raph went in. Not a good look
Steal
here.
by Brooks. Holman will get the foul.
Nice job shielding himself. Scotty with the big fella looming, and anytime you across the perimeter throw it up for grabs, some damage is going to happen. Wonderful block. However, a lot of body down below.
1:58 remaining in the ball game.
Stopping the clock with these fouls too.
Yeah, which is not what you want to do. And Brooks with his 5th point. That's led it by 15. It's down to 13 now.
And Hugh Holland's talking to the Rocket bench again. Hearing
Telling them to stop talking.
Chastising.
Brooks hits them both. And the net lead is 91-79 with 1:55 remaining.
Maybe more parents should have whistles. Look at these passes.
Dangerous. Underneath is Coleman.
If you saw the coaches on the bench, they were distraught on that loop. Brendan, Chuck, Paul. Oh, that's giving it up for an easy basket.
Floyd.
Yeah, that's why Drazen out there attack that guy.
Ori with a miss. Here's Anderson, looks, finds Petrov, and Drazen puts it home. 39 for Petrov.
Drazen's fun to watch.
Yep.
You knew he was going to recover to make that layup.
Oh, when you have a layup and you're Drazen Petrovic, ain't no way you ain't going to get those puppies off. Elijah, count that and one. Dudley with the body.
The machine, offensive-minded, and for a career. The chug by
Dudley is fouled out.
His last one.
And a stand-and-0 for Christopher.
Competes, and that's what people like. And that's what's turned on the audience and since at the Meadowlands.
They play some pretty good defense on this side of the Hudson, too.
A message. Well taken. Scotty trying to loop behind.
1:05 remaining in this ball game. This team is just growing, though. There are a lot of things that still have to happen, but it's getting to be some fun.
I'm impressed tonight without Morris. I thought it hurt them the other night. They didn't have that flexibility that they so desire, but the home floor turning into an advantage as the atmosphere conducive to good performance and the players confident playing in Brendan Byrne Arena, which wasn't the case early in the year. They get the violation by Dunn.
Coleman. Chuck saying he wasn't in by the time that ball hit off the rim.
Saying he broke the plane. Jackie East with a minute. It's over.
It's never over.
No.
It's never over. You got to keep playing and fighting for every one. Here's Floyd with a miss. Rebound pulled down by Bowie.
I think you may be right.
Addison.
They want Petro to shoot.
Yeah, go for 40. He got it. 41 for Drazen.
They all look at the big boy. Well, this has become his homeland.
Yeah. Up on the scoreboard, the fans can read it that he had 39. Here's Ori on the drive. He's called for travel. And that's a career high for Drazen Petrovic.
Super night, huh?
He loves it.
Yeah. He deserves all the accolades. Ringing the bell.
Lowest point total by a net opponent this year. No, second lowest. Petro for three. Got it! 44 for Drazen to close it out. And here's Brooks. Puts it home. And Coleman fouled him.
Now, here's the time of the game where you start thinking about Houston.
Yeah, you don't do this at this point.
Well, that's nice to say, though. This is not, in effect, a slap at Houston as much as the guys on the team wanted to get him the big numbers. When that stroke...
Drazen leaves 44 points.
When that stroke is on and they get him the basketball, usually Kenny, the key to getting him time with his cut, getting him the basketball, he is awfully tough to defend. Give him good looks, he makes them.
So that'll do it as Brooks puts it home. The horn sounds. This one is history.
Petro ended up scoring 25 points in the fourth quarter on 8 for 10 shooting, and he poured in 32 in the second half alone. That broke the Meadowlands Arena record of 28, shared by Alex English, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. For Drazen, his jersey pretty much said it all, number 3, because he was a master of the three-pointer. And up next, we'll look at some other guards who found a home from downtown. Back when Drazen Petrovic played for the Nets, the coaches picked up some Croatian phrases. In particular, they learned how to say, shoot the three, just so Drazen would know when to hoist one up. And he shot them as well as anyone. Petro was second in the league in three-point shooting in 1992. And there have been a few other guards who always seem to connect from long distance. The three-pointer was first used in the ABA, and the Kentucky Colonel's Louis Dampier made it his main weapon. Louis was a top three-point shooter in ABA history and the league's all-time leading scorer. Oh, my man, downtown Freddie Brown was a key player of the Sonic 79 championship team. The next season, the NBA adopted a three-point shot, and Brown was quick to take advantage, shooting 44% to become the first league leader in three-point percentage. The Bulls' Craig Hodges specialized in long-range shooting. Twice in the 80s, he led the league in threes, and he captured the All-Star shootout 3 times, one of only 2 players to accomplish that feat. The other was Larry Bird. The New York Knicks had their own three-point threat in Trent Tucker. He had one of the league's sweetest strokes, especially from downtown. In fact, he hit one of the most famous threes in Knick history, a shot with 1/10 of a second on the clock to beat the Bulls in 1990. Mark Price was usually on the mark from three-point land. At 6 feet tall, he didn't look very imposing, but he was lethal from outside. A 4-time All-Star with Cleveland, Price is still the team's career leader in three-pointers. The three-pointer is just part of the legacy of Drazen Petrovic. He also will be remembered for helping to carve out a place for international players in the NBA. But who's the best European player today? Well, we went around the league for some answers.
Best European players, I think you have to probably put Toni Kukoc.
Stojakovic, which I believe that's the guy who's going to be the best European yet to come into the league. He's going to be better than Drazen, I think, because he can do more.
7 to shoot. Peja Stojakovic, timeout, Lakers. Peja Stojakovic on his way to stardom. Make no mistake about it.
I think Peja is number 1 and Sabonis. They are top 2 guys.
Nowitzki from the Dallas Mavericks is going to be a frontline player, it looks like, in this league for some time to come. He's got a great stroke. As a big kid, he can shoot three-pointers.
This guy's 6'11", 7 foot, can put it on the floor, could shoot threes, and I've been really impressed with him. And he's doing a solid job for the Mavericks.
Nowitzki's got it stuck on automatic.
Pass, baby.
Dirk Nowitzki came over from Germany and has been one of the league's most improved players. If you have your own favorite international player or you'd like to talk about Drazen Petrovic, just drop us an email at NBA.com. We'd love to hear from you. There you'll find a complete section on global basketball where you can learn how to say three-point field goal in 5 different languages. How many people can do that? Back with more Vintage NBA, un momento. After the death of Drazen Petrovic, the Nets paid him a final tribute by retiring his number 3 jersey. His contributions to the international game were also remembered. The Most Valuable Player award in the McDonald's Championship was renamed the Drazen Petrovic Trophy. Drazen died too soon at age 28. But in that short time, he made an indelible mark as a shooting star in the NBA and a hero in his homeland. That's it for Vintage NBA. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Robin Roberts. We'll see you again next time. Take care.
Drazen Petrovic achieved greatness both at the European level, at the NBA, and the highest levels of international play. And it was fitting that somebody who really made basketball the international language should be so honored.